What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Prodigal Goat Gaming.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Today, we rebuild the Utah Jazz
Something. You like jazz?
after the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, and it's gonna be a good one. So stick around, hit that like, and hit that subscribe button. And we're gonna start off by mentioning that we gave up 3 first-round picks for Jaren Jackson Jr. We're gonna put Lauri Markkanen, of course, at the small forward spot. And Yusuf Nurkic has looked good with the squad and has really stepped up this year, but he's gonna have to get moved.
Drewski! Crackhead, get him out of here.
And of course we're gonna have Walker Kessler come back eventually. I am voice recording over what I've already done because the file wouldn't save or whatever. So we're just coming back in here and I'm commentating on all I've done. So hopefully this is a better video for you guys. Yusuf Nurkic and Landale going into the blender. Who are we going to pick up here? Michael Bridges and Mitchell Robinson trade does look pretty good. We get a lot of high value there. We could flip later on. But is that the move? Because we're kind of looking to get some younger guys. Danny Wolf, who is only a 76 overall right now. Dylan Brooks. Isaiah Joe Yang. Hansen is a younger center. Moses Moody. Keyshawn George. Now, we are giving up the 29th first-round pick, but we will pick up a defensive and offensive playmaker at the small forward spot. Is it worth it? He's scoring about 15 a game. Or should we go for like that Michael Bridges and Mitchell Robinson trade? His defense is pretty good. And of course, we'd like to add defense onto this offensively based squad. Will we trade Jaren Jackson Jr. in this video? Stick around to find out. Probably not, because I did say that this was a Jaren Jackson rebuild video. So let's see what Ace Bailey looks like at the shooting guard. A 77 overall, which means he's going to drop and probably be out of the starting position. Keyshawn is a good piece here that hopefully we can leverage in the future. We're going to go ahead and give up Cody Williams along with Kevin Love. Should we get Khalil Ware here for a young center to come off the bench? However, I don't really want to give up that first round pick in 2027, even though I did with Keyshawn George, that 2029 pick. The 2027 pick is a little bit more higher value because it's coming closer. We could pick up a Jordan Walsh.
It's a bug. He sounds built like a bug or something.
21 years of age at the power forward spot or small forward. He could go in that spot too. So we kind of have options if we pick him up. You know, it wouldn't be bad to pick up a couple of these guys. A young Jordan Hawkins, Clint Capella, and a pick wouldn't be horrible. Adam Bona is a 22-year-old center and could be a nice piece that should develop later on. But Jordan Walsh is a little bit higher upside and has looked really good at the Celtics this year. So yeah, we pick him up and we are going to put him at the small forward to come off the bench. However, we already have a bunch of small forwards, so I don't know why we would necessarily do that, and this is one of the mistakes I made, I believe. But anyways, we have a gigantic lineup with Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Walker Kessler taking up the front court, with our main guard being Keontae George. We do own our 2026 first rounder. Could we potentially pick up a first round pick here? Let's see if we can pick up a 26 first round pick. Probably not. The OKC Thunder are willing to give us a swap best with Thunder from the Clippers. And there would be some halfway decent picks in here. However, we're just not going to take that. Wouldn't make much sense. Let's see if we can get somebody's pick. We could pick up the Hornets along with Miles Bridges, who could be a nice draft asset later on. However, that's a little bit much for 126 first round pick. So we're gonna skip out on that. See if we can get the Warriors potentially, because they're not going to be very good with Jimmy Butler out. Bryce Sensabaugh or Cody Williams for that first round pick could have happened, but in the end, we're going to look at the Hornets, see if we can get something here. Vince Williams, and we give up that 27 first round pick. That's pretty worth it, considering that we'll have. We definitely don't want to give up Ace Bailey, and we definitely don't want to give up Keontae George, but we do want that Hornets pick.
Oh, yeah. It's all coming together.
Let's see what we can pick up here for Cody Williams, see if we can find him a home, or let him develop into a draft asset later in the future. However, that's just not going to work out. We give up a couple of guys. See if we can get a backup center potentially in Maxi Kleber. While Walker Kessler is out, and we have Marvin Bagley, the third starting. Walker Kessler is down 14. That's a bit much. However, we could look at this Julian Phillips guy. He's 22 years old. Might have a little bit higher upside, and we drop a lot of cap room there. And Mike Conley's on an expiring contract. That would help us drop that $13 million.
Well, duh.
We might have picked up there. And we have a pretty solid squad right here. With Keyshawn George going to come off the bench for Lauri Markkanen. Next, we're going to look. He is an offensive and defensive playmaker. However, his progression is not very good. We're going to try and move Jordan Walsh back to the power forward spot and get Flipowski in on some center action temporarily until we can get Walker Kessler back. We want to tank this season either way. We want high value draft assets for sure. It would be nice to have another piece to come in at shooting guard, potentially like Darren Peterson or AJ DeBansta. It's DeBansta. I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments below. I don't know what I'm talking about. But Kyle Flipowski is getting 27 minutes at the center position. Marvin Bagley's going to come off the bench for him. And we got to get Ace Bailey some minutes. Of course, our young rookie got to progress. Zubox for Keontae George.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That ain't happening. Disabling CPU trade offers, and we're going to keep on trucking. We're going to have the CPU adjust the rotation always, and hopefully we can find the guys to kind of even things out a little bit as we go. We do not want to get into the playoffs at all this year. We want a top pick if possible. We will stop simulating and check out our contract extensions. It's looking like we might lose Walker Kessler and a couple other guys. We're going to re-sign Jordan Walsh here to a $7 million contract over the next 2 years. Minus that a little bit, just helping with the cap space slightly. Lauri Markkanen is on a $47 million contract. And Triple J is going to have a player option for about 50 mil, which is a lot of money. However, let's keep tanking and let's try and get that 14th or 15th spot to improve our odds the best way possible. We would love to get that first pick, and now with the Hornets pick, we have the potential to get 2 top 3 picks here if the Hornets keep tanking like they're already doing. Reed Shepherd getting 6th man of the year. He deserves that. Wemby finally gets his defensive player of the year award. Booz Ellis gets most improved player, and it looks like we will not get any awards to coaching staff as we are last in the conference. It looks like Victor Wembanyama is going to get Western Conference Finals MVP, and the Knicks are going to win it all with Karl Anthony Towns really performing, even though it looks like they might trade him. Player retirements, we're going to make sure that LeBron doesn't leave. Besides that, there's not a whole lot of guys. Let's keep on trucking here. We want that first pick. If we could somehow get that first pick up Darren Peterson, maybe a top 3 if Cameron Boozer or AJ goes first. Who knows? They're all very good, talented young rookies. Let's see what we can get. All right, we're looking at the 11th and 5th pick for right now. We have a chance to pop up. So let's see. Maybe we can pop up a little bit. We're going to skip to the results.
Hey, bro.
What?
Oh my God!
And we pop all the way up to the 2nd pick, which is perfect. And the 11th, we stick there. So hopefully that's enough assets to maybe get the first pick if Darren Peterson is taken first. But if not, I'm willing to take the bet that we're going to take Darren Peterson. We're going to get rid of this 11th pick. And we're going to get rid of it with somebody like Jordan Walsh, who we did bring in literally recently. However, there's going to be no offers here. No offers again. It's unfortunate.
Cage, I read about did you say want to?
Here, we're looking at like 12-minute runtime right now. The Jazz are giving up their first round pick 11 because we have the 2nd pick. Can we pick up somebody that's pretty high value? We could pick up some more draft capital, draft assets. That wouldn't be a bad thing. Baron J is a decent rookie. However, we're just going to go in the blender, see if we can change some positions around and find somebody who's going to benefit this team. We definitely don't want to give up that 2nd round pick. Justin Edwards at 22 years of age. Hugo Gonzalez is 20. Could be an improving guy. Dyson Daniels just to have the draft asset later on. And a swap best with the Hawks isn't a bad pick either. Jace Richardson and Noah Penda, 2 promising young guys who could be halfway decent in the future. Carter Bryant and a 27 first-round pick, though. He's 20, and he would be instantly upgraded at the small forward position. Will Riley and a 28 Wizards pick. We're going to just take the Carter Bryant, though, because he's just going to instantly turn around and be better. And, of course, we get that draft asset from the Spurs. Even though that's not very good, it's still a draft asset and a first-rounder. It would be nice to have a Darren Peterson on this team to come in at shooting guard. We could put Bryce at the bench shooting guard. We could put Ace at the bench small forward. Maybe we get rid of Keyshawn here. Just cause. Okay, so Cameron Boozer goes first, which means we can select Darren Peterson.
Peterson, racing, spinning, pumping, fading. Ball player.
Who's projected to go one of the top 3 spots. I got a little bit confused right here. I saw a number of people in the media suggesting that Peterson is a 2nd round talent.
What?
I couldn't disagree more. Darren Peterson is definitely not a 2nd round talent. That's insane. And hey, he's going to be an 81 overall to start. And he should be our starting shooting guard, which will look really nice next to this team. We're going to go ahead and change your boy. Do we get rid of Isaiah and try and find a better backup point? Do we find... Looks like we are going to have to re-sign a Keyshawn keep confusing the two. Let's see what happens. Walker Kessler, will he take his qualifying offer? We might need to re-sign him as well. We do, and we're going to re-sign him to a $21 million contract. We don't have enough cap room to go for anybody else.
We do not care.
And we're going to pick up Walker Kessler. And then going down the totem pole here, we could be picking up, just double checking that, making sure all of our guys are here. It looks like we do get all of our guys back. Keyshawn back and Bryce back. Not a lot of pieces that we're looking to add here, besides, of course, our own Walker Kessler. And we don't really need any of these 68 overalls. We definitely do not. These 68, 72s, we're good. We're chilling. LeBron James has entered the free agency. It has a lot of offers.
We do not care.
So the front court of Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Walker Kessler is a very big front court and going to be really hard to contend with. Yeah, let's see. Will this team work together? Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr. account for about $85 million worth of contract. So is that really worth it? We're going to need to re-sign Keontae George at some point, along with Bryce. Hopefully we can get Bryce back on a minimum. And our player improvements this year are going to look pretty nice. Let's see what we're looking like year 2. Keontae George progresses up 1, Walker Kessler up 1, which is good for a 25-year-old. Lauri Markkanen does go down, which is unfortunate. We do get Ace Bailey up 3.
Nice.
Which is super beneficial, and Carter Bryant, who we just got, really just immediately flipped to higher value, which is perfect. We're going to look to move on from Keyshawn George here and Kyle Flapowski. We're going to change him back to the power forward spot, though, just to have him a little bit higher value. Do we get rid of Lauri Markkanen and let Keyshawn start? Jared McCain is a good asset. Buzelis, also another good asset, a little bit younger. However, his defense isn't going to be as good, and trust me, this squad needs some defense. Jalen Tyson, small forward, a good young guy, Jace Richardson and Jet Howard, 2 guys who are progressing well for the Magic. Ron Holland, is that really worth it? Probably not. We could pick up Amen Thompson for defense next to Keontae George, and we would get that net swap pick. And I do like some of the options with this trade, but we're going to look to get rid of Cody Williams. Cedric Coward at the shooting guard could be really good for this team, and we pick up Cam Spencer, so we're really not losing a ton of value here. We're at about 20 minutes in, and Mulak is a good center who should progress really well in the future. As you should know from me doing other rebuild videos, make sure you go check those out. We just rebuilt the Dallas Mavericks, and coming up, we're gonna rebuild the Cleveland Cavaliers with James Harden, which I might have to get rid of him, to be honest. He's too old. I do want Mulak, but maybe not for this much we're giving up. I think Cedric Coward might be the better pickup here at 83 overall and still progressing. He's been good for the Grizz and can just kind of do a little bit of everything. He's got rebounding, he's got athleticism, and that's who we're going to pick up, and he's going to start at our shooting guard spot with Darren Peterson going to come off the bench temporarily. Now we're going to have to get rid of some guard play. We got a lot of small forwards in here. Keyshawn going to go in the blender. Jalen Tyson Yamiaquez. He's been in a lot of trades. Amen Thompson again. And we would get the swap best with Mavericks pick.
Nice.
Not sure if I'd really want that or not, and I wouldn't want to have to give up my first round pick necessarily, which that might be the Spurs pick, but let's see if we can get a little bit better with Carter Bryant. We could pick up Mullock and Ryan Dunn. However, is it really worth it? Keyshawn George is only 22. And he's on a $11 million contract. Like, that's not that bad. Jalen Tyson, we're just going to look and see, like, straight up what we can get for Keyshawn. Maxime, not as good as the other center. Don't Clowney, Missy. Missy could be a decent piece off the bench. However, that's not as high value as what we would want to get out of Keyshawn George, one of our primary trade assets for the coming years. Rasheer Fleming, round 2, pick 1 in 2025. So, hey, he's got a little bit of post defense on him, but that's not going to be the play, I don't think. Berenje progressed to a 75, which is really solid for him. Adam Bona progressed to a 77. Nikola Topic progressed to a 77 as well. Maybe we give up Bryson some ball. We're really just kind of looking for a good trade here to kind of upgrade some spots. The Rockets are really shopping around Amen. Definitely could take that. However, we're looking for a bit of a younger guy. Round 2, pick 4. Ryan in 2025. Yeah, that's not going to be the play. It's not going to be the play. None of those trades are really appealing to me. I know that I could flip Nickeil Alexander-Walker for high value, but it looks like we're going to be trying to find a better backup point guard than Isaiah, who will progress for us eventually, but we want something a little bit more short-term. I mean, picking up Khalil here wouldn't be a bad thing. We do pick up a young center to come off the bench, hopefully progress for us. I did just see Khalil, and then, of course, he's not being offered anymore. We could pick up Reed Shepherd and a 29 first-round pick. Mullock, also always a good option. And we're closing in on about 20 minutes running time. Thank you guys for sticking with me. If you haven't already, hit that like and hit that sub. Now we throw all 3 in the blender, and we get that 27 first-round pick. Is that worth it? We are looking for picks because we do own our 27 first-round pick, but we hope to make the playoffs this year, and the Nets pick would be pretty valuable.
Éxito.
Obviously, right?
Silly me.
So we're going to go ahead and go over to the Heat and see what we can pick up for Khalil Ware. Just Bryce and 28 first rounder. We do need to fill that backup center's void, and we're definitely not going to give up our promising young Keontae George. We'd much rather give up Bryce and get a solid backup center at 22 years of age from the Miami Heat. It's Khalil Ware. Now we gotta shop around some more. This is the most trades we'll be doing the whole time. Guys, I got you. We'll get to Sim soon enough. We are going to flip Cam Spencer later on. He's not going to be a piece for us that long. So when he becomes available to trade, we'll have to get rid of him. Let's go ahead and go to the next season. Can we get a high playoff spot this coming season? We got to make sure we enter that 2027 draft class in to make this all fair and centered and all those good things. I think it's Tyron Stokes is usually the first round pick to go next season. Do we really need a backup small forward right now, considering what we have on the squad? No, not really. We don't. Darren Peterson's actually going to get that starting spot. Good for him. Could use a backup point. Better than Isaiah to hopefully get the bit. So we're fighting for that 5th and 6th spot right now. Oh, and then all of a sudden we take some dropping. we do beat a couple of good teams like the Nuggets and the Warriors. When they were taking losses to the Magic, the Raptors, the Nets, we should not be this bad. And JK, the cum bucket, wins Cup MVP. Really surprising from him. We need to go ahead and turn injuries off. I should have said that I was going to do that earlier. But we got to turn them off because, you know, near the playoffs, we're going to be getting hit with injuries left and right. 2K loves to give us some injuries. They love to, and let's see what we can shop around Cam Spencer and Isaiah Collier. Can we pick up a good backup point? Missy is a center, but we would be trading Ben Shepherd, which is kind of ironic, considering we'd be trading for Reed Shepherd here at 22 years of age, and obviously the much better of the brothers. We'll take it.
Yeah, boy.
And we add Reed Shepherd onto the squad. Just kind of doctoring up the minutes a little bit, making sure everything's good rotational-wise. And we're going to keep on trucking. Hopefully we can pick up a playoff spot. We don't want to be stuck in between, though, a playoff spot and getting a good pick, for sure. Fix the rotation just a smidge again. And now we're going to go ahead and move these minutes around, make sure that the rotation is looking nice. We have Khalil Ware. We need him to come in and get some minutes. Keontae, we're going to drop you a couple, buddy. I'm sorry. Darren Peterson. Yeah, Cedric Coward. What are you defensively wise? Scoring about 8 a game, which isn't the best. Keontae dropped off a little bit too, but he's shooting 47% from the field. Darren Peterson, 12 a game. Jaren Jackson Jr., Triple J. 15 Walker Kessler, doing Walker Kessler things. And Reed Shepherd coming off the bench. He's our offensive scoring punch. We're just going to need to fix these rotations just a little bit. And now that Keyshawn's at the power forward position, that's going to work out a lot better for us. And going to look really nice. System proficiency-wise, we're going to look at all of them, but then we're going to keep it at balance. We want what the coach wants, and the coach is looking good right now. So yeah, we got some pieces. We got some pieces for sure. Our front court is nasty, and our bench front court is nasty as well, with Keyshawn George at the power forward and Khalil Ware at the center. Khalil's not doing too good. He's scoring about 5 a game. You know, he's got some interesting... He's not doing as well as we would want him to. But we're going to go ahead and sim close to the trade deadline. See if we need to make some moves here in order to pick up a really solid team. I can't believe that we're taking this many losses. It's insane that we lose to a team like the Pelicans, the Portland Trailblazers.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
It makes sense if we're losing the Thunder or the Suns, and they've had a drop-off as they're no longer number 1 seed. But yeah, well, who are we going to have to move around? Do we move on from Triple J? Is he not doing good things? He kind of is. Like, he's getting his block a game, which is really solid. He's playing defense for us. Keontae George is shooting 48% from the field with 4 assists a game is pretty crazy. 48% from the 3-point line. going absolutely crazy from three. Lauri Markkanen, what if we shop you around, drop that contract, manage to pick up some dudes? Let's see what we can get. Jalen Tyson, Domantas Sabonis, James Harden, though, which is funny because, they did just get that trade. Trey Murphy could be a good defensive and shooting piece. He's going to shoot a lot better than Lauri Markkanen. However, we would be picking up Murray here. I'm not necessarily sure if that's the way to go. With Murray to come off the bench at point. Do we really need that guy? Let's see if we can shop Carter Bryant with Lauri. We could pick up a aging LeBron James. And they pick up Ayo, which is interesting enough. Concanipple would be a really, really good piece but do we really want LaMelo Ball on the team? It wouldn't hurt, but then also at the same time, it wouldn't necessarily help. I would like Con. However, I just don't think that's the way to go. Darren Peterson's dropping 12 a game. Really good from the shooting guard spot. We gotta trade around Keyshawn with Lauri. We gotta check it out. Could we get... They wouldn't even give us Con for that, which is crazy. We could pick up Trey Murph again. Maybe do we trade Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen in a package? It could be good. Could be good. Man. This is one tough rebuild, but we are making it happen. The Jazz could be very good in the future. We've got defense on the squad. We've got good defense. We've got good shooting. We've got all the things that make a good team. The question is can we perform with a young team in the playoffs? Is it our time yet? I think we pick up Trey Murphy here, and we lose the expiring contract of Murray, and we put him at the small forward, and that works out for everybody. But I guess we'll just shop around Carter Bryant one more time just to make sure. And is this trade a little bit better because we're not giving up a first-round pick? MPJ, how is he doing? He's a good 3-and-D kind of.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Is his defense really all that, though? As far as perimeter defense goes, it's only a C+. He's shooting 45+. Hey, we could do this. A second-round pick wouldn't be bad. And Jordan Poole, we would lose his contract. So we would be dropping most of the cap here because of his expired contract, and he could be a trade piece a little bit later on. Carter Bryant's perimeter D is good, and I hate to see him go here, but in the end, we gotta make moves, we gotta make trades, and we gotta see what can work here. Now, with our core of Keontae George, Jaren Jackson Jr., Trey Murphy, and Walker Kessler, is that going to do any better than Lauri Markkanen? Probably not, but we pick up a defender in Trey Murphy, a really solid wing defender for defense, and we can just hope and pray that this works out for us this season. Or we take this season and try and get a top pick.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Again, Darius Akuff Jr. did go pick. We could pick up another young guard in Anthony Black. However, we need to replace that big right there in Walker Kessler. Jaquez Concanipple, but that we'd have to give up that 27 first-round pick. We could pick up another first-round pick. Besides that, we get Nas Reed and Magoon Goff. Who names their kid Magoon? We could pick up a Will Riley. Wouldn't be a bad rookie. However, I just don't think that's the way to go right now. this team is on a little bit of a pivot. We thought we would be a little bit better this year than we are. Do we trade to tank, potentially? Try and again get Tyron Stokes to come in at small forward and fill that void. But then again, we do have Ace Bailey, who's going to progress for us in the offseason. Maybe we don't need a small forward as much as it seems like. And Keyshawn George really isn't doing good things for us this season, and I don't really know if he has that good of a potential. Sure, he'll be decent right now, but let's just shop him around and see. Maybe we give up 2 of these bench guys and find someone we really like. Maybe someone like Missy, who's going to come off the bench as a bigger power forward. Colin Murray Boyles. Okay, he's a young rookie who was drafted pick 9 in 2025. He's got potential. He's 21 years old. We'd also pick up a Jonathan Mogdo. Colin Murray would do better things for us than Keyshawn George as far as offensively. At least it seems like. He's shooting 35% from the three-point line. And let's check out his defense. Rebound chaser, challenger, all good signs. Good perimeter D and good post D. A little bit better than Keyshawn. And that's the main thing we're looking for right here is a little bit of defense. His offensive ratings are not as good, but it could be a good move. So that's who we're going to pick up. And now we'll adjust the rotation. We need a backup center. And who are we going to pick up? Oh, we already have Khalil Ware.
Well, duh.
So why is he not getting minutes? This always frustrates me when you bring in a good dude who should be getting minutes and does not. Trey Murphy is actually going to come off the bench for Ace Bailey, surprisingly enough. But he's actually going to get more minutes. So it's all going to end well there. Will we do good things the rest of the season? Could we hold on to an 8th spot, maybe get in the play-in? Or do we really want to? I'd much rather tank than be in the middle spot. I'd much rather have a really good team in the future years. I mean, the Jazz are kind of setting themselves up to be pretty good with Triple J in the future, and we want to do the same thing too. I wouldn't be surprised if the Jazz continue to tank this year. We're gonna re-sign Mogbo on a cheaper contract just by a smidge. And yeah, it looks like this is a squad, man. This is a solid squad. Is Trey Murphy really going to be worth it in the long run? Is really going to be the question. Jordan Poole, we couldn't get him on a smaller extension. However, he's going to be a nice trade piece for us if we do end up re-signing him in the offseason. Will we hold on to this 8th spot? Right now, we're 35 and 35, right in the middle of the pack at the 8th spot. Could we fight our way into the 7th spot just to ensure that we get good play-in advantages? No, we do get the 8th spot. Darren Peterson gets Rookie of the Year on 12 points shooting, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. KPJ really improved this year for the Suns. Gets 6-man, surprisingly. Dalton Gannett, most improved player, 9 points a game. Luka Doncic clutch, and of course, we won't win anything at the 8th seed.
I'm an idiot! You're an idiot!
The Timberwolves are supposed to be good. I'm surprised they've won Executive of the Year twice in a row and really haven't made that many moves. Like, you're looking here, and it's kind of all the same guys. They just kind of let their dudes progress a little bit. But besides that, we're up against a Golden State Warriors team. Will we be able to take them and move on? We're already in the playoffs, so we might as well just try and get some good reps. This team is just feeling not too good. It's a little bit scary, to be honest, as it looks a little bit rough going forward. Reed Shepherd, 11 a game. Murray Boyles, 8th the game with 4 rebounds. He's shooting about 37% from the field. Really solid. Khalil Ware shooting 40% from the field on 4 points a game. And 50% from regular and not 3. Darian Peterson has had a good year for us. We get eliminated by the Lakers in the play-in. The Timberwolves then beat them, and the Dallas Mavericks with Anthony Davis gets the finals W. Let's go on here. We need a top pick. We need a top pick here. Okay, so we're currently at the 12th spot. It's not very good. We have very little chances of jumping, considering we were in the play-in. And it looks like we've got the 12th, 15th, and 22nd picks. At least we have all of those picks, so we can find a way to find the way into the top 3.
How? How? I don't know.
Potentially, we could use a good small forward to replace Lauri Markkanen. 3 first-round picks and Jonathan Mogbo. Nothing really there. The Kings have the first pick. We're not going to get an offer from them. Maybe we can find the Nuggets. Can't get theirs, which they're going to be good, pretty good. Depending. The 6th pick with Trey Murphy could be a decent asset. Who has 5, though? The Heat have the 5th pick. We could pick up Norman Powell as well. Drop a lot of cap here, as Trey Murphy is on that $29 million contract with a couple more years to go. He has had a decent season as far as shooting goes. However, is it worth it? Because we could work our way into that top 3, and we'd have a top 5 pick and still have the 11th and 23rd pick here. Is it really worth it, though? That's the question. We're going to try it out.
See you, chump.
See if we can go for that. See if we can get rid of a couple of our picks. No, we can't go for the first pick. What about the 3rd pick? We know we can't get the 2nd. We'd love to go for the 3rd here. Pick 5 and pick 22. Alright, we could do that. We could get rid of Norman Powell. However, why would we not just go option number 1 instead of a lottery pick? We just pick up a regular 2nd rounder, which is fine. In the end, we get somebody decent. Norman Powell, we could give him up and get Keegan Murray, who I actually kind of like. One of the few decent players on that Kings team. So this squad's shaping up a little bit. We could use a small forward. So hopefully now that we have that first round picks, we pick up Tyron Stokes. At the 1st, I know that Bruce Branch is projected to go high. Stefan Jokic.
What?
Vince Carter is a really good ceiling. Christian Collins, another good small forward. But Hall of Fame is the only ceiling for Jokic, which is why we're going to want to take a Tyron Stokes, most likely. And that's who we're going to pick up at pick number 1 from Notre Dame, 245 pounds. Welcome to the team, Tyron Stokes. We don't have any other draft picks. We send in the end, 79 overall. Looking good in that number 1 spot. Are we going to make any moves here? Ace Bailey hopefully will progress that starting small forward spot like we need him to. Tyron Stokes can come off the bench. We need to re-sign all of our guys, which we do. Perfect. Are we going to lose anybody? Doesn't seem like we're going to lose any. Maybe Keontae George. We do lose Keontae George, but we're going to sign him back. Give him a bag. And let's see what moves we can make. Keegan Murray and Mogbo gonna go into the blender. Do we want to get rid of somebody else? Is it that time to get rid of Walker Kessler? Is it that time to try and up this team and maybe get rid of Khalil Ware? Has he really had that good of a season? Brandon Williams, Dennis Jenkins, Keaton Wagler, Jacoby Walter, Jakob Pertl, Will Riley. So there's some options here, but none that are really worth it. Will Riley, though, and a good pick. Sure, why not? Like, we get a really good pick that we can leverage in a future trade. And now that we're in the regular off-season, the regular free agency here, we can kind of look to make a pickup somewhere. Danny Wolf at 6'11", 23 years of age, could be an instant improvement. We'll pick him up. And nobody else. Let's go ahead and go to player progression. And Keontae George goes up to an 88, Triple J 87. Darren Peterson jumps 5 and gets a lot better in a lot of areas. And the fact that Jaren Jackson Jr. is improving at the age of 27 is really good sign for our team. Walker Kessler goes up 1. Is Walker Kessler really doing good things? And then Ace Bailey goes up another 2. He'll finally get that starting small forward role. Reed Shepard going to come off the bench, be our 6th man. Cedric Coward at 23, also progressing a little bit. Let's keep on trucking here. Of course, we got to we're not going to go all the way to the 2028 draft, even though we do have some high-value picks. I don't know the 2028 draft class at all. I know very little to begin with at the 2027. I mean, I do know the 2026, though. Alright, so we are picking up some W's, and this is really good. Really good start of the season. We are 2nd. I think we need something to jump us maybe to the 1st spot. Maybe we make a key rotation trade. Maybe we come in. Maybe we find a better center. Maybe we find Nikola Jokic is at the Warriors. 16 points a game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. That's very little points. What happened to MVP Jokic? And why is he on the Warriors? Did he ask out of the Nuggets? Or was he forced out? The Nuggets with Stefan Jokic, Peyton Watson progressed. This is a completely different team and completely different NBA. The Warriors with Giannis and Nikola Jokic, with Jimmy Butler, all on the same team. They pick up Dame Czar and Christian Anderson Jr. That team is insane. The NBA has been completely flipped on its head. We haven't looked at all. Kind of the same Dallas Mavericks team. Washington Wizards, kind of the same team. The Heat, Jacques Shunas, the Clippers, kind of the same, besides, obviously, the James Harden trade. So, it's really just the Warriors. Maybe the Timberwolves flip things on their head. I mean, the Hornets pick up Dylan Brooks, and Colin Sexton. They already had Colin Sexton, but they got a good rotation. So the Lakers have really made a team, picking up Jaden Ivey, who's really shooting well, 50%, and gonna play defense next to Luka. Jalen Wells and Nate Ament, they have built a team around Luka. Let me tell you, if the Lakers do anything, this is a squad. And Damian Lillard coming off the bench is crazy. Crazy work there. He's probably on one of their bigger contracts. The Magics really just have let their players progress. Haven't really done a whole lot. Portland, all their players just kind of progress. They're kind of the same team. Jaden Winton's, though, for defense off the bench, along with Tim Hardaway Jr. The Hawks look the same. So, really, it's just the Warriors have made some big trades. The Celtics pick up a center. The Pelicans picking up Walker Kessler. We did that trade to get Trey Murph. Everybody seems happy, and we're ranked 3rd with the Warriors at the top of the seed with Giannis and Jokic, which is crazy. You would think that the Timberwolves would have flipped something on their head, like to make some trades to get a point guard, but apparently not. I thought that they would have. Walker Kessler hasn't really been doing as good as we thought he was. Is it time to give him up? Do we just go ahead? We're going to extend Triple J on a little bit less than he's currently on. Just save everywhere we can. And we can't extend anyone else. Been talking a lot. Need some water probably. Walker Kessler, gonna go in the blender. Could we get a good young center that's better than Walker Kessler? Zubac has had 80 game. He's shooting better from the field. Trey Murph back, kind of ironic. Bryce Sensabaugh back. Nick Claxton. Peyton Watson has looked good. Do we get Missy? Missy is not really starting contention. Like Nas Reed, like we're not gonna make that trade. Walker Kessler, I guess, is not that high value guy that you would expect. For sure. But hey, we're holding on to the 1st in the power rank, 3rd in the conference. Maybe we come in trade deadline and try and pick somebody up. I just don't know who could make us better than we already are. We have a good young team. I mean, obviously, there's some guys who are going to make us instantly better, but we don't really have the assets to trade for them and keep our young core. 37 and 15 right before the trade deadline. I mean, I just keep looking at Walker Kessler here. The Warriors is also crazy to me with Giannis, Nikola Jokic, and Jimmy Butler, along with Cam Whitmer, Dame Czar. Crazy team. Crazy, crazy team. Dame Czar's a top prospect as well. Maybe we get rid of Triple J, but he's been good. He's been shooting nearly 40% from the 3-point line. He's one of our main defensive guys. I think it's Walker Kessler. I think we gotta find somebody for Walker Kessler. We're gonna sell Danny Wolf and Gary Trent along with that. Nobody. Donovan Clingan, at 23 years of age, could come in, be a really good rebounder, play defense, be a lockdown, second all defense. Could be that guy. Trey Murph back, Darius Acuff, drafted pick 7 in 2026, and we get Kamara, who could be a decent piece off the bench. We're gonna do it. We pick up a rebounder. We have a lot of power forward minutes. Kamara is not really getting any minutes. He's getting about 8 at the power forward. He's probably a better small forward. Do we really want to put him at the small forward, though? We kind of want Tyron Stokes to play, but at the same time, like, and we worked hard to get that pick. I wish we could trade Kamara, but we can't. It is what it is, and it be what it be. Let's just put Kamara at the center so he doesn't get any minutes. But now we need small forward minutes because Stokes and Riley both still aren't getting minutes. Neither of them are really doing anything. Tyron Stokes, my boy, ain't gotten no minutes this season. Even though he's the number 1 pick at 80 overall. Hopefully, he'll just progress and be a nice piece for the Jazz later, even though we will end this rebuild. Comment down below if I should have made any different moves so far, maybe picking up Amen Thompson earlier on. However, I think we're really set right here. We're really set to do good things this season. Perimeter-centric is what the coach likes. Perimeter-centric is the way we're gonna go. We obviously have a good team, not really a good coach. We're gonna keep on trucking here. And send the season and try and get through this as fast as possible for you guys. because we're reaching about that hour mark. Let's get through the rest of the season here. We do pick up against a win against a really good Spurs team twice in a row. We've beaten the Rockets multiple times. The Lakers team is going to be a hard team to beat. They're looking really nice. The Timberwolves have looked good in the playoffs recently. However, we are going to beat them. We're losing to some random teams like the Trailblazers. I'm not surprised we lost to the Warriors. But, the Grizzlies is a little bit of a surprise, along with the Knicks. You'd think we'd be able to clap some of these teams with our young core. And that's going to be it for the season. MVP for Victor Wet Bananas. Jokic getting Rookie of the Year because Tyron Stokes didn't get any minutes. Steve Kerr wins Coach of the Year. 66 and 16. 99 overall offense. 99 overall defense. Absolute insanity from the Warriors. What they've done in order to pick up Giannis and Nikola Jokic on the same team. Darren Peterson gets his first All-NBA pickup on third team, and that's going to be mostly it for the rewards. And this roster looks pretty solid. Donovan Clingan coming in, getting his defense and rebounds. That's exactly what we want from him. Can we beat the OKC Thunder? We go 2-2. That's not good. We don't want to be in this spot against a team like OKC because they are tough and they've probably kept a similar core. However, Ace Bailey is shooting 20% from the three-point line. Not very good. Murray Boyles has done good things, though. Jaren Jackson Jr. is actually going to come off the bench. Murray Boyles is going to start, the younger guy. Imagine that. Kamara is playing a little bit of defense. That's what we have him here for. Khalil Ware's just kind of getting things done. Will Riley, not really doing much right now. Hopefully this means we can pull off a win against the Thunder, and we do. Can we beat a sim-heavy Dallas Mavericks team? Trust me, in future years, 2K loves some Dallas Mavericks. Loves the Dallas Mavericks. But we're going to 4-0 sweep that Dallas Mavericks team. Could we go up against the Timberwolves? No, we're going to go up against this Golden State Warriors team with Giannis and Jokic. Oh my gosh. If we get 4-0 sweep by this team, then it is what it is. It be what it be. We tried. We really tried. This is their year, maybe. No, we come back 2-2, 3-2, 4-2. We're moving on to the finals against the Pacers with Darren Peterson leading the way as conference finals MVP. And now we're gonna go to the finals here against the Pacers. We go up 1, we go up 2. Can we 4-0 these guys? 3-0, 3-1, okay. The Pacers look pretty much the same. They kind of have the same squad. Nick Smith Jr., about the only pickup. And they get a couple of centers, which they needed. The East doesn't really seem like they did much. They just kind of kept their teams. So there's not really a big surprise that teams are doing. And we win. And we take the finals.
Direction and magnitude. Oh, yeah.
And that's what we deserve after making this team, this really solid lineup, this crazy stacked lineup, led the way by Keontae George, Darren Peterson, Triple J, Donovan Clingan, Ace Bailey, Reed Shepard, Cedric Coward, Tommy Kamara, Murray Boyles, the whole works, on and on and on and on. And it worked out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like and hit that subscribe button. To Prodigal Goat Gaming, signing off.